We're on page 10, and this is the first problem that we need to do, right? Like, okay, cool. All right, you guys, we're on page 10. We did this on Friday of talking through these 6 points. 6 points would be a free response question like this. And let's remind ourselves what the heck this is saying. Which of the following functions is the solution to this differential equation? So they're saying, which of these has this slope, but also goes through that point? So how do I go from a slope to a function? I'm going to integrate, but before we can integrate, we've got to separate those variables. Now, how am I going to get that y squared over to the other side? Okay, we could divide by 5y squared. We could. Could we also just divide by y squared? Okay, so but 2 different options. We totally could divide by 5y squared. Don't write this down. And then we'd have 1 over 5y squared, right? Equal dy equals dx. We could totally do it this way, Ritz. But if my whole end goal is to get y by itself, I kind of want to bring less with that y, right? That 5 is like the baggage. Let's leave that 5 on the other side just because I want to get y by itself later, so I want to bring less with it. So we cool with dividing by a y squared dy equals, then I have 5 dx. But again, Ritz, we could have done this whole thing and still gotten the same answer, bringing the 5 over. All right, you guys, how do I, this is still just dy dx, just things have new seats. How would I maybe want to rewrite 1 over y squared to help me take that integral?
Y to the -2?
Yeah, that's the same as y to the -2. So maybe I just remind myself, that's the same as y to the -2. So now what's the antiderivative of y to the -2?
-1 over y.
Yeah, y to the, add 1 to the exponent, -1 over -1. But Ritzy said, I'm just going to throw that negative up top. I agree that negative could go up top. And could I bring this y to the -1 down and just have it be 1 over y? We could do that. Okay, you guys. Antiderivative of 5. Yeah, whose derivative is 5? It'd be a 5x plus c. So now real fast, Ritzy, if we would have done what you would have done, 5y squared dy equals just dx. When we went to this step, bud, again, we would have had 1 over 5 y to the -2. I'm just still rewriting this, equals a dx. I would have still had my 1/5, and then you would have said y to the -1 over -1. What's the antiderivative of 1 dx? That would have gotten us an x. Sound good? And then do we agree these are equivalent?
Yeah.
These are equivalent because what is 5 times a constant? It's still a constant, just as a reminder of that. Yeah. I'm actually going to keep that in my video. Yeah. Why don't we have a plus c on the y side? Here's why. If, like, you totally could. We're just saving a step, meaning I could have done plus c. Yes, exactly. I'm going to call this some constant. I'm going to call that like constant 1 and then call that constant 2. If I wanted to move all my constants to one side, a constant minus a different constant would just still leave me with a constant, right? It's not that they'd cancel each other out.
That they'd still equal any constant.
Exactly. Sound good? Okay, peeps. Right now, we separated the variables. Boom. We've taken antiderivatives. Boom, boom. We got to go find that constant by plugging in our point. What am I going to plug in for y? 0 or 3? Yeah, so just a reminder, it's like f of x. This is 0 is always the x. So I'm going to go plug in 3 for my y. So I've got a -1/3 equals 0 times 5 plus c. You agree my constant is -1/3?
Yep.
All right, we're going to go plug that in, boop, right there, and get y by itself. We've already gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points of the 6 points because we found c by plugging in our initial condition, which was our point. We're going to go get y by itself, and we've got our 6th point. Here we go. I got -1 over y equals 5x minus 1/3. I'm going to get rid of this so that we got some room to write. How are we going to start getting y by itself?
Well, we know, aren't we able to use the x value?
The x value of 0?
Yeah.
Yeah, we already did.
Okay.
So we already did that. Now we just want to get the y by itself, right? Are we cool with getting y out of the denominator first,
Yeah,
people?
multiply.
Let's go get rid of that y. So do you agree I've got a -1 equals, I would not distribute it to the right side. you guys, because we want to get y by itself, so I don't want to bring it to lots of terms. And then can I divide out that 5x minus a third? And you're like, okay, all is good. You guys, we have the right answer. We just don't have it looking like their answer. But we have the right answer. We just need to see which one is equivalent to this.
Can't be any of the ones with the square.
You're like, I don't see a square root, so I'm feeling good. Bless you, Kate. That is not any of those. What's going on with this stuff?
Oh, I see. We have to multiply by 3 to get...
Okay, so if I multiplied by 3, do you agree I'd get a negative 3 up top?
Yeah.
If I multiplied by 3, if I went times 3, times 3, times 3, I'd get a negative 3 over a 15x minus
3.
1/3, careful, times 3 is just a 1. But I don't see a negative 3 up top. And if this is the opposite of that, you guys, couldn't we just change every single thing's sign? Is that an answer? It is D. What could I have done with this 3 to have done that in one step? Couldn't I have multiplied by a negative 3 instead right here?
Yeah.
Thinking, oh, on top they don't have a negative, so I know a negative times a negative would get me a positive. Whew, that's annoying. You did all the calculus and you're like, which one is that equivalent to? Let's do it all again. Let's do it all again. This is a free responser. And you guys, this one is really worth 6 points because one of these antiderivatives is tough. And actually, Ritzy, this goes exactly to your question from earlier. Okay, consider the differential equation. Find that function who has this slope and goes through that point. Let's go get 1 point and separate our variables. Again, our end goal is to get y by itself. What do you think we could do to separate our variables?
It's x over 4 times y minus 1.
Are you guys cool if we cross multiply? You're saying, I want to get that y minus 1 over here. So actually not cross multiplying at all. Let me take that back. Because then that would get, oh my gosh, Laura. Oh my gosh, get out of here. This would get, if I cross multiplied, I'd get 4 dy equals y minus 1 dx. Right? So yeah, you're saying, I love that, Dean. You're like, I'm going to just look at my original. You're so right. You had it, Dad. But I'm just taking my time in saying this. Is this the same as that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're saying, let's divide out my y minus 1, right? So we've got 1 over y minus 1 dy equals x over 4 dx. And again, could I have sent that 4 over here? Yes, it could be 4 over y minus 1, but I want less with my y stuff. I want less. Okay, you guys, this is a toughie. That left side is tough. What's the antiderivative of 1 over y minus 1? Actually, and it might even be easier for you to think about it this way. Look what I just did. I can't go take it away forever, but I took away my minus 1. Antiderivative of 1 over y.
Well, wouldn't it be y the
Natural log of y.
Isn't it
Wouldn't
natural
it be
log?
the natural log of y minus 1?
So real fast, isn't this Q y to the negative 1,
Yeah.
right? And when you add 1 to that exponent, wouldn't it become y to the 0 over 0?
Yes, but it's, well, I'm saying it's the natural log.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Y minus 1.
I think I didn't hear you say natural log.
No worries.
You got it, buddy. So it's the natural log of y minus 1. And let's just double check. Is this derivative what you started with? Is the derivative ln of y minus 1, 1 over y minus 1, times the derivative of the inner? What's the derivative of the inner here? It's just 1. So that's why, because my inner's derivative is just 1, we don't have to do u sub or anything here. Because the derivative of y minus 1 is just 1, we don't have to worry about chain rule stuff. So this is the antiderivative to the left. That's why they're giving you a point just for that side, because that is hard. How about the antiderivative of the right, which again, you could picture that as, actually, no, you guys are good at that. This would become x to the blank over blank. Awesome, x squared over 8, x squared over 8. We added 1 to the exponent, put that new exponent in the bottom, plus a constant. You got it, people. Okay. We just, boom, got 3 points. Let's go get our fourth point by plugging in the initial condition and solving for C. My y is 3, my x is 1. So I've got the ln of 3 minus 1, my x is 1. So do we have an 8th plus C? Kate's like, excuse me, ln of 2, no idea what that is. Me neither, Kate. But you agree 2 is at least positive already, so I could get rid of my bounds? I'm sorry, my bars, my absolute value bars. And Kate, we're going to just say ln of 2 minus an 8th is my constant. Yep. Okay. Whew. You guys, we just plugged in our initial point and found our constant. You guys, we've got 5 points. We got 5 points. Let's go plug it in. We go, this gets me C. Gross. This is ugly. Here we go. We got ln of y minus 1 equals x squared over 8 plus ln of 2 minus an 8th. Oh boy, if we want to get y by itself, the inverse of natural log is e. And so you e both sides. And when you've got e and natural log, you guys, they always cancel out like this. Boop, boop. And I'm left with y minus 1, and you might want to keep those bars, but here's the reason why you don't have to. The reason you don't have to is because we're looking for the solution for this set. My y, when I plug in a 3 for my y, we're always going to get a positive value here because 3 minus 1 in this case is 2, which is positive, so we can get rid of those bars. We're good with that for all of AP Calc. This right side doesn't cancel out, so I've got e2, all that stuff. X squared over 8 plus ln of 2 minus an 8th. So let's talk that through. We got to get y by itself, right? So could my final answer be y equals e to all of that plus ln of 2 minus an 8th? Where's that plus 1 going? Yeah, at the end. Is it up in the exponent? No, very good, people. It is just hanging out right back on like the same line, if you will, of e. But then Beck's like, hold up. I've got another e and to the ln, just like I did right here. Beck, you're so right. This right here can simplify, but real fast, I'm going to back it up. This is our, let's end here. But if this was multiple choice, they might write their answer as y equals, they might say 2, bless you, e to the x squared over 8 minus an 8th plus my 1. Meaning you can bring e to the ln that cancel out, and that 2 could just come out front. Just like here, they canceled out, and I just had an y minus 1. I wonder what I left off of this question. From 2011, I gave you part A and part C, 2 points and 5 points. I wonder what I left off from part B. Maybe it was drawing the slope field, and I figured that you had it. Okay, so let's practice this. This is at least 7 points. If we were to get 3 or 4 from a free response question, we're feeling fine. Whew. At the beginning of 2010, a landfill contained 1,400 tons of solid waste. The increasing function of the models the total amount of solid waste stored at the landfill. Really happy topic that we're talking about here. Planners estimate that W will satisfy the differential equation. So this is the rate that that landfill is either getting filled up or decreasing, right? Since it was a DWDT, that's a rate. W is measured in tons, T is measured in years from the start of 2010. Use the tangent line when T is 0. Let's start with that. We got to go write the equation of a tangent line. Let's go do it. If T is 0, what point do I have? TW, we'd have 0 what? Say it again. Yeah, you're like, oh, I had to go back into my info right there. At the beginning of 2010, when T is 0, we had 1,400 tons. Well said, that's my point. We need a slope. Well, they gave us a dWdt. Do we have info that we could plug in there to get my slope at that point? Yeah, dw dt at the point 0, 1,400. And me as a student, I always struggled like, which one is x, which one is y? Well, they're letting us know, and time is always going to be the x, you guys. So that t I put as the 0, and they let us know w was the other variable. So it kind of helps me to write it this way to then know what to plug in where. So what am I going to plug into this 1/25th equation? Yeah, 1,400. 1/25th, 1,400 minus 300. Here's the deal. This is question 5, you guys. This is a non-calculator question. Only questions 1 and 2 do you get a calculator. So we're going to go get this, but we don't need to simplify it, you guys. Could we even just leave it like this?
Yeah.
Yeah. You totally could, or you could say 1100 over 25, whatever you want to do, but we don't need an answer. So maybe we just leave it here because we're nervous, and I'm fine with that. Okay, let's go write the equation of the tangent line with this point, boop, boop, and this slope, boop, boop. So we'd have not y. W minus 1400 equals my slope. I'm not even going to simplify it. 1/25, 1400 minus 300. And you're like, I don't want to write all that. So you might just write 1100 over 25. That's fine. Times, not x, I'm going to do t minus 0 or just a t. Yep. Cool. They said use that tangent line. We just did that. We just got a point to approximate the amount of solid waste at the end of the first 3 months, or when t is 1/4. You guys, we go plug in that 1/4, and what do we do with that w? Get it by itself. W equals 1/25, 1400 minus 300. 1/4 is my t, and I'm going to add 1400 over there. This is it. Let's make this be our last question of the day, people. Part C says find the particular solution. Find W. They gave us dWdt. To get W, I've got to integrate. They said here's the derivative. It goes through that point. Okay, people. How are we going to separate those variables? Separate those variables. Get my dubs on one side and my t's on the other. Which I don't see any t's, but that's okay. I see a dt. What do you want to bring to the left side? How would I move that w minus 300 to the divide by w minus 300? How am I going to get that dt over there? Just multiply it over, right? So we got 1 over w minus 300, d dubs. Oh, dw like Arthur. Does anyone remember dw? Okay, if we got 1 over w minus 300 d dubs equals, what's on the right side? Yeah, 1 over 25 dt. Yeah, you guys, that's just dWdt. We got to integrate that. If that minus 300 was gone, do you agree that this would be an ln of w? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to say ln of w minus 300, question. Is this derivative what I started with? Yeah. Yeah, natural log of 1 over, the derivative of natural log of this is 1 over this times the derivative of the inner. What's the derivative of this inner? It's just 1, so we don't have to worry about it. That's good. That's good. That's good. Antiderivative of 1/25. This is really x to the, or t to the 0 right now. So it'd become 1/25 t to the blank over blank. T to the 1 over 1. So it'd just be 1/25 t? Yeah. Plus c?
Couldn't you write it as t over 25?
Totes. Do we want to write t over 25? Yep. You totally can. Same diff. Oh, yeah. You guys, let's go plug in our point. When I plug in 1400 minus 300, are my absolute value bars, can they go away? Yeah, because 1400 minus 300 is 1100. So to Kate's point, we have no idea what ln of 1100 is, and that's fine. T is 0, so is ln of 1100 my constant? Yeah. Let's go plug it back in. ln of 1100 goes right there. Whoa. Okay, people, we got ln, a w minus 300, equals t 25ths plus ln of 1100. Whoa. We got to get w by itself, so we're going to e both sides. I'm good with getting rid of those bars because the absolute value of w minus 300 when w is 1400 will be positive. Equals e to the t 25th plus ln of 1100. That's all in the exponent. But Beck's going to write it fancy.
And we can easily just make that 1400? Wait, no.
No, good call. T25 plus ln of 1100. We got to move my 300 over and make sure that 300 is out of the exponent. 300 is on the level of the e. Beck, how can I write that fancy? What could I do with that ln of 1100? Yeah, and just get rid of that ln, right? The e and the ln cancel out. I could throw my 1100 out front, e to the t 25th, then out of the exponent, I got a plus 300.